Silence creates more uncertainty than anger ever could. When you forgive someone in silence, you remove something they were unconsciously relying on, your reaction. Psychology shows that many people regulate their sense of control through emotional feedback. They expect confrontation, explanation, or emotional closure. Silence disrupts that expectation. Forgiving in silence signals emotional detachment. It tells the other person that the dynamic they once understood no longer exists. This can create discomfort, even panic, not because they miss you, but because they've lost access to your emotional world. People often confuse forgiveness with reconciliation. So when forgiveness happens without reconnection, it challenges their assumptions. They don't know where they stand anymore. Psychologically, uncertainty triggers anxiety more than conflict. Conflict still allows engagement. Silence removes it completely. When you stop explaining, arguing, or reacting, you leave a blank space, and blank spaces force self-reflection. For some people, that's uncomfortable. Forgiving in silence also removes their opportunity to control the narrative. They can no longer justify their behavior through your responses. This loss of influence can feel threatening. Walking away quietly communicates that you no longer need them to understand you. You've processed what happened without their involvement. This is a power shift, not through dominance but through disengagement. Psychology explains that emotional power exists where attention flows. When attention is withdrawn, power collapses. Those who relied on your emotional availability feel this change immediately. Silence after forgiveness says, "I've moved on internally." And for someone who expected emotional access, that can feel destabilizing. They may attempt to reach out. They may seek reassurance. They may even reinterpret the past, not because they changed, but because they feel the absence of control. Forgiving in silence protects your peace while exposing emotional dependency in others. It reveals who needed your reactions more than your presence. This doesn't mean your silence is meant to provoke. It simply means you chose self-regulation over emotional labor. Psychology calls this emotional autonomy, the ability to maintain inner balance without external validation. When you forgive in silence, you close the emotional loop yourself. No audience, no explanation, no negotiation. And that closure is what creates panic in those who depended on access. Because silence doesn't argue, it doesn't explain, it doesn't negotiate. It ends influence. So if your quiet forgiveness unsettles someone, it's not because you were wrong. It's because you removed yourself from a dynamic that required your participation to survive. And when participation ends, so does their power.